Hi friends, thanks for joining me today. This is a book that I made. I think I made it in 2016 for the season of music at Get Messy, and this was a coffee table book, an REM coffee table book that I found at a used bookstore and bought with the purpose of using it as an altered book. But I actually bought it before I knew that there was going to be a Get Messy season of music, so I had it in my stash when season of music came around, and then I was like, this is the moment for this book, the moment. It actually had some words on the spine that I took gesso and filled in, and then I painted them black. This book tape was black, and so I just painted that so it would be nice and flat and wouldn't leave. I don't know why I did that. I guess because when I put this piece on here, I wanted this to be black with nothing showing. The book itself was this blue color right here, and this was a giant panel I had made, sort of a stencil jelly print. My friend Renee made me this bird stencil, which I used for this, and it was a big piece. It had several different stencils on it, and I wasn't doing anything with it, and wanted to, since it was the same color of blue, wanted to use it on this book. I felt like it would be a good finishing piece for the cover of this book. So I love the fact that I shopped my stash for something I'd already used, put it on here, and it worked out great. You'll notice that this book, I did remove pages out of this book. I sort of took stock of how many weeks the season was going to be, and then tried to cut down so that I had a closer number of spreads to the season, because it was a really fat book. So I ended up taking a whole lot of pages out, which I've used, of course, for lots of other things. Anytime I alter a book and I take pages out, I save the pages for other use. And so, you know, if there's ever a picture of one of the members of REM in any of my work, you know it came from this book. Like, there's just no question about it. But we're going to get started. So this was what the inside cover looked like, and I actually just wrote some lyrics in and drew a little bit. The great thing about using this book for the season of music is anytime I was sort of stumped for imagery, there was already a picture of the band here for me to pull from. So it just worked out perfectly. I couldn't have been happier with the way it turned out. Here's a piece of that cover right here. So there's a lot of music quotes in here, and then I have a roll of music tissue paper that got used a lot in here. This is also a piece from that cover. This is a jelly print. Here's a picture of Michael Stipe, which was, again, it was part of the book. It was there, so I just added. I love the picture of him with the dog, so I just added to what was already there. And so a lot of the stuff in this book are music quotes from songs. I just worked through some of my favorite bands and put their words in here. So there's a lot of that in here. Lyrics for a U2 song. This was I think it was a printable that Katie Smith offered on, and it was moons, and I put it on my computer and just color corrected it. So I had a rainbow set of moons. Oh yeah, here's August 2016. There's the date right there. So thanks, past me, for putting that in there. Mumford & Sons, I think, is what that is. There's a lot of jelly printing in this book. This book was great because there were all these images in it, and like this was paint that I was then able to scrape off. And I just love this distressed look. Like, that is the image that was on the page, and then the paint on top of it, the pink and white on top of it, just created this really cool effect. So there's a lot of manipulation of the images in this book, which worked out great. Like, this was an image of out a window in a car, or maybe probably the bus. And so there's just a lot of serendipity in this book. This is a hymn that I really love called Servant Song, so it's in here. And I was really into stencils in 2016. So there are a lot of stencils, but I don't know, they kind of work for me here in this venue. This is a Massive Attack song. A Sting song. And, you know, Dream of the Blue Turtles, just so, you know, I had a turtle cut out from something. I really liked Katie's Moons, man. I used those a lot. This is a Guster song. This is back when I had a lot of scrapbooking materials. Oh, my bad. I have to do a little repair work there. Another Sting song. August 19, 2016. And here's again where I applied paint and then was able to scrape it off. I think this was actually a page from this book that I tore out and then really just like these feet, particularly in the context of fragility, and so I just put them back in here. This is from the Cure album Disintegration, and I looked at the Cure album cover and just kind of worked on recreating it or reinterpreting it with the colors and the flowers. And I love, I think these little dots, I think those were like transfers. I can't remember. It's been a long time since I worked in this book, but it's funny when I look at it because it's really, really still just as effective for me, which doesn't always happen with my work, with particularly my journal work. Sometimes I feel like I've gotten significantly better and so don't feel like it's as good, but I love this book. These were my personal concert tickets that I made copies of. They had been in the in the front of the CD cases for the different bands, and some of them were in really bad shape, but I just photocopied them and then cut them out and put them in here. And then this was an REM. This spread was art, you know, this picture was here, and it just worked great in the context of concert tickets. You know, music is one of those things that feels like there's a big divide between secular and sacred, and in this book I have a lot of hymns as well, and this is another one that I really love. So this is actually a page out of a hymnal. I have some old hymnals, and so I just put it in here. This page is some alcohol inks, which I really never use alcohol inks because I can't make them work right. They end up really trashy. For me personally, that, you know, if it works for you, fantastic. But one of the things I like about this page is there is behind this image, this is water, and Michael Stipe is in the water. So I don't know if you can tell in this video, but in a lot of my pictures you can see his head ghosted right here, which is actually just looking through the paint that's here. This is a song from Death Cab for Cutie. Door is unlocked and open, so I went and found a door image. Here's a great quote about music, and this page I completely covered with this wood paper, and then put stuff on top of it. I love this crane. I love cranes. Cranes are one of my favorite bird. I think maybe that's a sandhill crane. I can't remember exactly. This is a page that I punched out a bunch of hydrangea blossoms, and then I just had this negative space, and I just love that punch out look. And then a Japanese beetle, again, I love them. They're very destructive, but I love them. This is a Sam Phillips song. Putting acrylic paint on these pages, just so entertained. There's a lot of entertainment in putting acrylic paint on these pages. I need to find another book that has the high gloss pages like this one does, because man, it was a lot of fun to do. I don't even remember what that song is. Nico and Vince, maybe? The name of it is right there, but I can't read it exactly. Also, really into butterflies back in the day. Bono. I don't remember what this oh, I maybe just printed that picture. Yeah, because it's wearing out. It's been laying against these letters and wearing out. Another music quote. The season often had a lot of quotes in it. The seasons back in the day would have quotes, and you could use them in your book. That was a good one. This is another page. This was a page that was another, these pictures were images that were in this book. I tore the pages out and then put the pictures back in. And I think, yeah, that's another image from this book that I put back in there. I just love this sign. It's really cracking me up. This was all of this was one piece of paper, and I liked cutting it up and the contrast of this green and yellow between it, so I thought it made really good imagery for this quote. Force of nature, Courtney Love, boy, no kidding. This is another concert picture from the book that I just left because it's just so perfect. I just left it the way it was. Another album cover that I recreated, a Nine Inch Nails cover. And this is actually, this plastic stuff with these little designs on it, that was from the inside of a keyboard, just a typing keyboard that my kid actually took apart, and then he brought it to me. He was like, "Mom, this looks like something you would like to use." So sure enough, I put it in here. This was this is the Pompeii song from Bastille, and I just love the idea of the city, and so I made a city skyline, and I just am really entertained with the way this turned out. I'm telling you, this book just keeps entertaining me. I think, yeah, Prince died right around the time I was making this book, so I made a spread to Prince. This is a Ben Folds song. I had this plastic rose in my stuff, and I don't know, it was so kind of cartoony and weird. I put it on this page. I just love this page. It's just weird. It cracks me up. This is a Gungor song. This was some foil tissue paper. I mean, foil paper. It was like tissue paper, but it was made out of foil. And it just makes some really good shiny. A Cyndi Lauper quote. You know, I love Cyndi Lauper's name, and when I was a teenager, I actually, for a long time, wrote my name M-Y-S-T-I, because my name is spelled M-I-S-T-Y, so because she did that, I mean, I guess that's really her name. I don't know if she changed it or if that's the way her parents made it spelled, but I changed mine to match Cyndi Lauper. And then the last page, where I just doodled. But anyway, that is the Season of Music journal, and I'm gonna glue this little bit back in. Thanks for watching.